You are standing in the refrigerated aisle holding two packs of hot dogs. One says all beef, the other is $1 cheaper and just says classic Franks. They look nearly identical. Same pink color, same plump shape, same smoky smell coming through the plastic. So you assume a hot dog is a hot dog, that the meat inside is basically the same, and the only real difference is the price. But here is something that might surprise you. Out of 7 of the most popular hot dog brands sitting on that shelf, only 3 are built from what you would actually recognize as muscle meat. The other 4 lead with a paste. There is one kind of meat that is banned from every hot dog in America by federal law, ruled unfit for people to eat, and that pink you are staring at was added on purpose, because the meat inside started out gray. So how do you tell the 3 from the 4 while you are standing right there in the store? To understand the split, you have to go back more than 500 years. The city of Frankfurt, Germany, claims it has been making a spiced, smoked, slightly curved sausage since the 1400s. That sausage is where the word Frankfurter comes from. Vienna, Austria, made its own version and gave us the word Wiener. There is even a running joke. In Frankfurt, they call it a Vienna sausage, and in Vienna, a Frankfurt sausage. German immigrants carried the recipe to New York in the 1860s, where street vendors sold them as Dachshund sausages. The phrase hot dog shows up in print by 1884. The American story really begins in 1893 at the World's Fair in Chicago. 2 immigrants from Austria-Hungary, Emil Reichel and Sam Ladany, sold their all-beef sausages by the thousands and were such a hit they founded Vienna Beef, a brand still running today. Then, in 1916, a Polish immigrant named Nathan Handwerker, a bread slicer at a Coney Island stand, borrowed a small sum from 2 entertainers and opened his own cart. He undercut his old boss, charging 5 cents a dog instead of 10, and soon outsold the stand he had left. That cart became Nathan's famous. For decades, a hot dog meant one thing: whole cuts of beef, trimmed, ground, and stuffed into a casing. Then the economics changed, and so did the meat. Here is how a modern hot dog is actually built. It starts with an emulsion. An emulsion just means fat and water locked together in one stable blend, held there by protein, the same principle behind mayonnaise. Trimmings of meat are dropped into a high-speed chopper with ice, salt, and curing agents, and the blades spin until it becomes a smooth batter, not unlike cake mix. About 30% of a typical hot dog is fat, and fat and water together make up roughly half the finished product. That is where the meat source matters enormously. For the premium brands, those trimmings are whole beef, cuts like chuck and brisket. For the cheaper brands, the first ingredient on the label is something called mechanically separated chicken. That is made by forcing whole chicken carcasses, bones and all, through a sieve under high pressure, which strips off every scrap of soft tissue and produces a pink paste. And the rules here are not the same for every animal. Mechanically separated beef has been completely banned from human food since 2004 over fears of mad cow disease. Mechanically separated pork is allowed, but capped at 20% of the meat. Mechanically separated chicken and turkey have no legal limit at all. A hot dog can be built almost entirely from that poultry paste. Then come the binders that hold it together: corn syrup, modified food starch, and soy protein concentrate. Then sodium nitrite, which is what turns that gray emulsion the familiar pink and locks it in. The batter is pumped into cellulose casings, tubes of plant fiber that hold the shape while it cooks and get peeled away at the end, which is why a modern hot dog has no skin you can feel. The links are run through a smokehouse, cooked to about 160 degrees, showered cool, and packaged. So among your 7 brands, 3, the all-beef Franks like Nathan's, Hebrew National, and Vienna Beef, list beef and name the cut. The other 4, brands like Ballpark Bun Size, Barris Classic Jumbo, Oscar Mayer Classic, and Sugardale, open their ingredient list with mechanically separated chicken and corn syrup. Here is where the story flips. The phrase mechanically separated chicken sounds like the worst thing you have ever heard, And the internet loves to tell you hot dogs are made of snouts, eyeballs, and floor sweepings. That part is a myth. That paste is real poultry muscle and skin, recovered under the same USDA inspection as everything else. It is legal, it is safe, and it is not organ scraps. Sodium nitrite gets the same bad reputation, but it is the single ingredient standing between you and botulism, one of the deadliest forms of food poisoning. And most of the nitrite that moves through your body was never added to any meat. Your own physiology makes it. The nitrate packed into leafy vegetables like spinach, celery, and beets gets absorbed, concentrated in your saliva, and turned into nitrite by the ordinary bacteria living in your mouth. Vegetables supply the large majority of the nitrate people eat, so for most people that quiet loop is where the bulk of nitrite exposure actually begins, not the cured meat counter. So the 4 cheaper brands are not poison, they are engineered. Every choice, the poultry paste, the corn syrup, the starch, exists to hit a price point of a few dollars a pack while staying shelf stable and consistent. And that engineering buys real things. A paste behaves the same in every batch, so the dog you open in July tastes like the one from December, and the starch and cure let it sit sealed in your fridge for weeks without spoiling. What you are really paying for with the All Beef 3 is not safety. It is texture and source, whole muscle trimmings instead of a blended paste, and one animal instead of the cheapest one available that month. So next time you are standing in that aisle, do this. Flip both packs over and read the very first ingredient, because ingredients are listed by weight, heaviest first. If it says beef, and better yet, names a cut, you are holding whole muscle meat. If it opens with mechanically separated chicken or turkey, followed by water and corn syrup, you are holding one of those 4 paste-based brands. That single line tells you more than the word premium or the price ever will. And here is the honest caveat. The paste-based dogs are not dangerous, and the only meat truly outlawed from your hot dog is mechanically separated beef, which none of these brands can legally use. This is a choice about quality and taste, not a rescue from something toxic. But now you know why 2 packs that look identical through the plastic are not the same food at all. The answer was printed on the back the whole time. You just never had a reason to turn it over. That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there is something you would like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.